I've just completed an awesome nearly 8,000 kilometre, 15-day solo unsupported west-east crossing of Australia. From Steep Point to Byron Bay, ticking off 4 remote intersecting border posts, as well as the geographical centre of Australia, using some of the most remote outback tracks this country has to offer. Come along with me as I battle my way across this big brown land on the trip of a lifetime. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. In the last episode, I completed the brutal nearly 500 kilometres of the Gun Barrel Highway from Carnegie Homestead to Warburton. While myself and the bike made it, it was at a cost, with the bike and my gear showing signs of just how tough the track was. In this episode, I head to Surveyors General Corner before pushing on towards Ayers Rock and Alice Springs.
Rightio, we're up early, no real need to be, but sun woke me up and it got a little bit cool, so I woke up and thought I'd pack my gear and get into Warburton, and hopefully there's a little bit of phone signal so I can sit around and make a plan for the day and be first to get fuel and get going. Also, when I picked up signal earlier yesterday, my clock switched over to Northern Territory time on my phone, so I don't know, I'm pretty sure Warburton is still run on WA time, so I'm probably going to be really early, but just in case they don't, I still want to be there on time. So yeah, just going to sneak into town, sit around, hopefully not get harassed too much by the locals, and yeah, good night last night. It wasn't actually that cold until late in the evening, and then yeah, at one point I did hear a car getting around with no exhaust pipe on it, so thankfully they never came into where I was, and they're only around for about 15-20 minutes and then they left. So yeah, all in all, pretty uneventful night. Had a good fire, a good feed, and yeah, watched the sun go down over a pretty amazing place there at those rock holes. That was pretty cool little spot to stay. Anyway, we'll get into Warburton. We'll get our first taste of Opal fuel in the bike. I'm not looking forward to that. I really wish I didn't have to, but it's part of what you have to do travelling out this way. And then yeah, we'll push on to Surveyors General Corner a bit later today. Well, today has been the true meaning of adventure riding, and just the good spirit of Aussie people, I think. I got into Warburton really early. It turned out it was like 7 o'clock WA time, so fuel wasn't open till 9. Anyway, I sort of knew that going in that I was going to be waiting around, which I didn't mind. It gave me a chance to catch up on a few things and suss out the next few days. Anyway, 10 minutes before they opened, they came out with a sign that the power had just gone out, and they had no idea when the power was going to come back on. So anyway, a lovely couple showed up with a caravan. They were waiting to get a little bit of diesel to get onto the next town, and told them the story about the power and, you know, just general chat about what we're doing, and then they offered coffee and a biscuit, and when they heard it was going to be a long wait, they offered me their generator fuel. Said, look, we don't need power for the generator, and we'll just get fuel at the next spot, which, because you're not going that way, so have a go at these guys. Camels here on the side of the road. Yeah, so they offered me their generator fuel. The guys at the oh, he's out that side. The guys at the servo had 20 litres in a jerry can, so I've got that. So I've got a full bike and a bladder and a half of fuel. And then the kicker, right as I'm about to leave, now this is almost 4 hours after getting there, the power come back on, just as I was driving out. So yeah, it's a bit funny, but anyway, that's adventure riding. That's the adventure, I guess. So anyway, we're 20 k's out now. headed to Surveyors General Corner. Who knows how far we'll get today, who even cares. We'll just push on. It's a little bit windy, so hopefully we don't get through too much more fuel. Got plenty now though, so yeah, we'll push on and we'll get out to Surveyors General Corner in a few hours, and then we'll shoot back and head back to the Great Central Road again, and then probably have to make a camp around then. It'll be starting to get dark by then, I reckon, and yeah, that'll be today's adventure done. Alright, I'll see you up the road.
After being stuck in Warburton for most of the morning, it was good to be back on the bike and knocking out the Ks. The road out to Surveyors General Corner was in fantastic condition and made for fast, easy riding, and it was interesting to see the scenery change as I continued to head further east, from flat plains that turned into small mountain ranges. After passing through the remote community Blackstone, I continued the journey east, stopping only to fuel the bike before making it to the corner marker.
Well, it's much later in the day than I'd hoped, guys, but that's it. Surveyors General Corner. Captain America, he's made it. I've made it. 280 odd Ks out from Warburton. Long ride, but good roads. So yeah, as I said, some people may disagree that I came out here, but I tried my hardest to appease everyone and no one wanted to help out. And yeah, too bad. I'm here now. Pretty happy. Alright, time to make a mile before the sun sets and try and get, I don't know, up towards Docker River somewhere. Alrighty, that is Surveyors General Corner ticked off the list. It was 279 Ks to get here, probably a touch left. 277 sounds about right. According to Google, that's what it is, and I overshot the corner by a little bit to come in here, so had to turn back. Alright, you can see the sun's starting to come down. It takes a little while, thankfully, and I got 135 Ks up to the Central Road, so I'm just going to push it until it's not safe to do so anymore, and see where we get to. Hopefully somewhere near the Central Road. Then tomorrow I'll can get into Docker River and get some fuel and carry on my way east. But yeah, big achievement, this one. I've been looking at maps for 6 years for this trip, and I've been looking at that quarter post thinking one day I'm going to go stand there, and today was the day for me. So I feel like great achievement, and I've got a long way to go yet on this trip, so we just still got to keep it steady and think that I'm not even really halfway in this trip yet. Technically today I've touched Northern Territory and South Australia, but we've still got a bit of Western Australia to go, so we'll poke back out to the main road and we'll be on our way. Big mob of camels. They stink too. Alright, well it's nearly decision time. We got About a half-hour push to make it to the top of this road, and the sun is going down fast. I'd like to get to the top. There we go, the fuel lights come on right about where I thought it would too. Right. We'll turn the fuel taps on, and I'm going to push on. Well guys, another big day done. The sun beat us today. The sun's just starting to go down behind, well, over the horizon really. It was getting too dark to ride safely, so best pull up. We're about 30 k's I think short of the Great Central Road, so the delay getting fuel today really sucked. Lost 4 hours there this morning, so I would have easily got into Docker River tonight. Probably wouldn't have got fuel. They run on NT time, so anyway, tomorrow we'll get up probably with the sun. Seems to be the trend, and pack the bike up and head, I think it's about an hour, maybe an hour and a half into Docker River. So they don't open till 8 or 9, and I can get fuel and keep going towards Alice. I made the decision I'm going to head for Alice, get that rear tyre done. It's pretty much seen the end of its life, so between here and Alice we'll finish it off nicely. Anyway, little camp tonight, very basic. A little bit of wood, got to have a little bit of a fire because it's 2 or 3 hours till I go to sleep. And I don't know about you, but that's boring when you're sitting out here doing nothing all by yourself. So anyway, I'll catch you in the morning. Anyone who's hung around this long in the series, you're doing well. Pat yourselves on the back. What are we into? Day 7, I believe. It's Monday. Getting going. It's 7:30 and it's sun hasn't even got out yet. It's daylight though, so packed up in the dark, and I'm going to poke into Docker River. And the plan is to refuel, get water, because I'm running a bit lower on water than I care to be, and yeah, just head east today. It's not going to be a very exciting day. Probably going to see a big rock or two, and then yeah, we'll just keep just puttering along and try and get as far east as we can safely. I'm hoping if the sun comes up later, sets later, right? On the clock anyway. So yeah, we'll just poke into Docker River. By the time I get there, Survey should be open, and yeah, we'll carry on. Back to the Great Central Road. Probably should take a photo of that. If you don't take photos, you never happen, right? Stay there, bike. Just had a road train go by, and I pulled over and waited for him to go, and even 5 minutes after he's gone, I thought I'll sit and wait for the dust to settle. I don't know if the camera picks it up. This whole valley along the road, over the tops of the trees, up against the hills, is just blanketed in dust from the road train. And I don't really want to be breathing it in. I don't want the bike to have to suck it all in. But anyway, I can't sit here all day and wait for it to clear. Might be another one up his backside, so we'll just push along gently, just sort of doing 75, 80. Hopefully it'll clear soon because it's quite thick. And yeah, anyway, we push on. The next major attraction, I believe, will be the WA Northern Territory border, and that'll officially be the end of WA for this trip. It's she's a big state. It's a big state. Take, you know, yeah, 6-7 days to get across. You know, you could do longer days. You could do a more direct route, but I think I've had a pretty good time in WA. My first time over here, and I think I've experienced a good bit of it. Right, see you at the border. NT border, guys. We made it. We are officially leaving WA. And been a good time in WA, so let's hope the Northern Territory treats us just as kindly. And yeah, a few days we're over to Alice and then down Fink Way and yeah, on to Mount Dare. So only a couple of days in the NT, but yeah, countryside is bloody beautiful out here. I mean, look around, just hills for days. It's green as, absolutely lovely at the moment. Anyway, back on the bike. We've got to get the Docker River and get some fuel and keep on going. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. I don't have the camera will pick it up, but there's a horse up there. We can tick horse off the list. Horse is officially off the list, even though it's in town. Probably belongs to someone, maybe. But horses, there you go, horses are off the list. Welcome to Docker River. Yep, no photos, because they don't want people to know what goes on in these places. Alright, I think I'm too early for fuel. Alright guys, we're half hour out of Docker River, headed towards Ayers Rock on the Central Road. And the road's in pretty good condition, lightly corrugated, hard red dirt covered in sand, a little bit slippery in spots. Yeah, I'm getting along pretty bloody well actually. And obviously the locals aren't scared having to go because they got rounded up by Land Cruise before. And he's gone, so yeah, everyone travels pretty hard out here, I guess. But yeah, we're poking along. It's another 140 or so k's to the corner where the Ulgas are, and then it's another 50 odd k's from there to Ayers Rock. So we'll poke along, and unless anything too exciting happens between here and there, that'll be where you see me next. Well, I'd said I'd bring you back if anything interesting started happening, and well, it's getting interesting. This big black cloud above me, it's raining. It's not very heavy, but it's raining. Not ideal. Not ideal. Got another probably 100 or so k's worth of dirt to do yet. So hopefully it's just a passing shower and I'll be out from under it soon. It doesn't look too bad out in front. And we'll continue on our way. Yeah, it's raining and I'm on a dirt road. Good times. Alright guys, we are back. And we've officially hit blacktop. We're off the dirt. And the GoPro probably won't pick it up because it's not real good at seeing long range. Over these little sand dunes in front of me, probably still about 50 k's away is the Ulgas. I've caught a glimpse of them. There they are, just through the gap there. I don't reckon the GoPro will see it, but they're there. And 24 years it's been since I've been out here. 2000, during when the Olympics were on in Sydney. I came out here with my family. It was a bit of a different time back then to now. But anyway, we'll get up there soon. kilometres, and you might be able to see over there. There's also another big rock out here people come to see. It's still a little way out yet, but you might get it on the GoPro. There it is. Ayers Rock, Uluru for some. It's a pretty impressive sight even from 30 or 40 k's back. There's just nothing else out here that looks like it. It's so cool. I hope one day my kids will be allowed to come here, eh? Alrighty, we are on our way out of Uluru and headed for Garn. About 2.5 hours, closer to 3 probably by the time we have a couple of stops along the way. This is the busiest place I have seen since leaving Perth, I reckon. It is flat out here, flat out. Anyway, we'll get out of here. Too many people for me. Back to full steam ahead. Try to get to Alice nice and early tomorrow so we can get this tired up and make my way down towards, I think, maybe go out to Chambers Pillar. I'd like to do Chambers Pillar. I did it on the same trip I was out here on. So it is a fair way off of the road though. It's like an hour in, hour out, just to see a big pillar of rock. So I'll see how tomorrow morning goes, whether I do it or not. So yeah, I'd like to get into the desert, get into that, and not be pushed for the tight 2-day crossing. I'd like to give myself plenty of time to get across the desert and keep to my schedule. Anyway, 2.5 hours of boring blacktop to go, and then we'll see how the day looks. Mount Connor over in the distance quite often gets mistaken for Uluru from people driving out here because it's the first one that you see. It's about 95 k's, 100 k's short of Uluru. You get a glimpse of it and you think you're there, and then you realise you've got another hour to go. But pretty impressive just the same. A little bit smaller than Uluru, I believe, but still pretty cool that there's just nothing around it for 100 kilometres and then it juts out of the land. I don't know how well the GoPro picks it up, but yeah, pretty cool. Just had a stop at Curtin Springs and stretched the legs and had a bit of an afternoon snack, and just going to push on, see how far I get. Right, I'll see you later. Well, how's that for consideration, guys? We're about a half hour out from the Sturt Highway. 194 kilometres to the fuel line on regular 91 unleaded, and I've been pushing along at 110, 115 since I left Uluru. This morning I got 163 on Opal fuel to the fuel line, so almost 30 kilometres less. So the bike didn't feel any different power wise, it was performing well, rode normal, didn't splutter, didn't cough, was happy to rev, felt exactly the same, but only managed to make 163. I've just done 193.94. That's a fair whack difference if you had to go long distances using Opal fuel. Anyway, we'll look for a bit of shade up here, we'll crack the fuel taps, and we'll do this last 50 to the Sturt Highway. Alrighty, just left the roadhouse at Garn, headed north towards Alice, and she's not an open speed limit on the Sturt Highway anymore, and it's $1.30, so it'd be rude not to, really. We'll shoot up the road here to Finn River. There's a bit of a campground, and that's going to do me tonight. Should be there before the sun sets. Get a bit of a camp